Welcome mates, I'm BloodThirstyLord by Incoming Lordy, and so back on Gotham Knights, highlighting the best Batgirl build that you can currently have at endgame. And this build does slap so hard, as it does have so much potential to pretty much be invincible while doing high amounts of damage, going up to 45,000 damage. It is absolutely insane. Make sure to click the subscribe button and also the bell notification button with all notifications on to keep up to date, and also press that join button to become a member on the channel. So without further ado, let's get straight into this.
Incoming.
Oh, 13,000. You know what? That's not bad. But obviously I'm playing very hard. Let's try this.
Ready?
Shit, 30,000. 30,000! Activate this. Get iframes from any damage. Thank you. The interrupts. Oh my god. When are you going to attack? My turn, not yours. Oh, legendary gear. Got a suit. And now we're going to activate God mode. Sorry, I got to activate God mode. I'm so sorry. God mode activated. How do you stop this? Let's be honest. How do you stop this? It's crazy. Damn! Was that 45k damage? And the build that makes it all work is our Batgirl build right over here, with the suit, melee, and range gear being all level 40, with legendary modifiers that will break down into momentum ability suit, a concussive weapon, and a direct hit battering. This combination here feels like it's really fun and active within the character's kit, and just feels enjoyable, and I feel really overpowered when using this character. Our power level is 10,000 on the right hand side, health 4,000, defense 3.5k, melee damage nearly up to 1,000 damage, with a proc of 20% critical chance at critical damage increase at 250. Range 527 with 28 to 219. Range components is alright. You're not going to use it too often, but it's part of your kit. Melee is when the character becomes god tier, and her abilities. We're going to group them a certain way. Once we group them, now we activate ability. Slam. See you later, everybody dead. Who's on the map? Nobody, of course. Busted character. Easy game. You know what? She actually turns the whole game on its neck, and is like, look, I have my own game plan. That's all that matters. Let's highlight the conditional states of her actual effects. So obviously our armor has been graded at level 2 with a Fox mod of cryogenic reinforcer. So anytime freeze mechanics, I can deal with it with 2 legendary increased health modifiers as well, or mod chips on that suit aspect there. And then our mod chips on our melee weapon are increased critical damage times 3, making sure we get 43% increased damage per mod chip on our weapons, because melee combat is the main form of damage through Batgirl's kit. And moving on to the range aspects, we do have increased critical damage. You can change them to legendary modifiers as well, alongside a Fox mod as well, being critical enchantment. This just means that if I use a range attack throughout combo of some sort, the crit chance will be higher, allowing for the crit damage to actually proc towards those targets. You don't want to crit it. Shit, I critted it. Then move on to the other aspects of her actual suit, being the conditional states. Instantly grant max momentum when health is low. When she reaches critical HP, she instantly gains those momentum bars, reaching a 4-stack momentum bars to use into any ability of any sort. It is amazing. It comes in clutch really well with this character.
Here we go. Ready?
I'm such a bully. Watch this. When I take damage, look, I got full bargain. You know what? I'm going to use my own bats against you. And now I'll get back to full HP. Heal me, drone. Heal me. There we go. Nice. Oh, you can't die. Nuts. Where's Manbat? Did he die? Oh, Manbat's dead. Huh. The drone got you? RIP. RIP. The second state is knocking out an enemy increases momentum buildup for a short duration, and then knockout shell using an ability increases armor for a short duration. So by knocking out enemies, I also gain armor, so build my defense for my character, which she is a tank, so you have to make sure she's somewhat tanky in these fights, and surviving really well while doing high in DPS. And then also, if I do knock out someone, I can use my momentum abilities, and keep rinsing and repeating through that combo. Every time I knock out someone, I get a momentum ability, utilize it, damage the enemies. If I get my HP low, it procs all momentum bars at once, and I can use whatever abilities I want to. I'm going to talk about those abilities after, because some of them are very, very crucial. The melee benefits are counter-strike momentum, instantly grant momentum after knocking out an enemy with a perfect attack. So if I perfect evade, which is dodging the last second, they're going to attack straight away, it will activate this. So you see the momentum gains happen naturally throughout the build. Knockout momentum. Knocking out enemy with a momentum ability increases momentum build-up for a short duration. So it's rewarding me for using my abilities, my combos, my attacks throughout the whole experience without having to think about it. It's passively happening in the background. And it just feels fun. Look at this. Like, it just feels fun. How can you not enjoy this? Like, it's only fun at endgame more than anything, I'll be honest. Like, endgame's dirty. Who's next? Come on, everybody flee away. Everybody flee. Jeez. Oh my god. And the crits are so nice. Then effect offense. Knocking out enemy increases elemental effect and elemental effect resistance for a short duration. So I can change my Fox mod resistance capabilities on my suit from ice to maybe poison and be able to defend myself from talons while also doing bonus damage towards them, being concussion on my melee weapon, because that is the property I have on there, being concussion. Range aspects are increased momentum generation for a short duration when hitting an enemy. Then Haymaker Vengeance, knocking out an enemy with a heavy melee attack guarantees the next attack will be a critical hit on melee attack only. And this is beautiful. Her kit does rely on heavy attacks quite a lot, so having something that does proc that aspect when you need to go for heavy attacks is perfect. Oh my god, I don't even have to hit them. Just run at them. Press W and just get the kills. That's all I need to do. So pretty much I'll try and highlight that majority of the stuff I have on this character happens passively. It's not something I have to think about. It just happens and it procs the benefits I need, being high momentum, armor, and defensive capabilities while doing increased damage towards opponents and gain momentum build up continuously throughout the whole gameplay. It is beautiful. That's her gear. And now let's talk about the abilities. You've got Perfect Evade. You have to go for it. Then you have Critical Expertise. Increase Batgirl's critical damage by 20%. Mandatory. Then we have Elite Beatdown, which is one of her abilities. She's able to beat down an opponent repeatedly. This will allow you not to be interrupted in that attack phase. And also increase the defense of Batgirl by 20% while in this ability. Pretty decent, but Beatdown ends up being a very underutilized ability throughout the rest of the gameplay, especially in-game. Then move on to Heavyweight. Increase Batgirl's heavy melee attack damage by 10% and stun elemental effect build up by 20. Stun being concussive as well, which is based on our weapon type. So build up stun really quickly while using heavy melee attacks with our weapon as well. So that procs some of our other conditional states that we mentioned earlier, and increase damage with heavy attacks. Perfect. Then we have Precise Strikes. Increase Batgirl's chance of landing a critical hit by 10%. Piecing Beatdown. This upgraded version of Beatdown can interrupt enemies' armored attacks as well. So the larger mini bosses that you verse, you can actually interrupt them with this ability. So that becomes more of the useful aspect within the kit. Then Critical Focus. Increase Batgirl's chance of landing a critical hit by 10%. Increases critical damage by 10% as well. This is perfect. It just means you're doing more crit, and she does seem like a very crit heavy character, and that is why all modifiers are usually crit on this character, to make sure she's excelling in her kit. So Justice Tree you gotta get. Now we move on to Grit, with this new ability being HP+. Increase Batgirl's base health by 40%, does not apply to bonus health provided by gear. So this seems obviously great, it just builds the tanky properties of your character. Unflinching heavy strikes. Most enemy attacks can't interrupt Batgirl's heavy melee attack. This is a bread and butter aspect of Batgirl's kit. You need to get this, it's mandatory. She's the only character in the game that's able to pretty much not give a hell about any abilities hitting her when she uses this ability. Being able to heavy attack with this skill active at the same time. And it will always be active because it's part of your passive kit. Then enemy counter focus. Batgirl receives a 75% defensive boost when hit by enemy counter attack. So that's when they pretty much go into this red phase when you can't actually evade it in any way, like perfect evade it. So you know that's when you can get hit by it, and then also receive a defensive boost when you're taking multiple enemies and there's countered. Actually, maybe eat the counter, and then from there move on to fighting the enemies, and you'll be pretty much Gotham at that point. Then we have Second Wind. This ability is kind of interesting. It does seem lackluster, but it's actually quite good when you forget about your HP pool. And this also helps during early to mid game more than anything compared to late game. Batgirl can revive herself once after her health is depleted, restores 50% health. Perfect. Then we move on to the next aspect, Vigilant Resolve. Batgirl can now use Second Wind twice, so she can revive herself twice. Then we have Sense of Victory. Batgirl regains 4% health upon defeating an enemy, or 8% health upon defeating an enemy with a grab strike or takedown. So any type of grab strike she does, or takedown, being a stealth takedown or ambush takedown from a start of fight, she's gaining health back. That is crazy. It just helps out overall within a kit, keeps her sustaining throughout fights and being ready for the next engagement whenever. The one ability that we haven't got yet, if we have more points, we'll go for this. Second Plus. Second also grants a Batgirl a full momentum segment and a 10% increased chance of landing a critical hit for 15 seconds. So this is obviously good, but it's not as crazy as the other aspects on the skill tree, so it's not mandatory. But if you finish all your collectibles and get the extra points, then go for this ability. And now the Oracle skill tree. This is kind of good through missions, but if you already complete all the missions, it doesn't really help. So obviously being a New Game Plus member, level 40, maxed out, pretty much done everything in the game, then this aspect here doesn't really prove that useful to me at this current time, unless Heroic Assault has it part of the game mode. Pretty much I'm able to use my AR mode to actually hack objects from far and pretty much dismantle them or make them explode or make them useless or redundant. Either way, it's great the way you start the kit because there's some abilities here that you need to go for. Shocking devices, Batgirl can overcharge enemy gun or device, is what I was talking about. And if it hits the enemy in a certain way, it obviously activates the bioelectric elemental effect as well. You have to scan them and then press Y, it works. But sometimes you end up forgetting that you even have this. And then we have this buff ability here, which Batgirl's overclock her abilities to deal 10% extra damage. She can also hack her allies' abilities to give them a 50% damage boost for 20 seconds. And then you get more of this hacking mechanics or stealth mechanics in the game. She's now able to hack electrical panels and explode them. There's a stealth mechanic which becomes a digital ghost, able to walk past cameras and not be detected. It's useful, but I didn't go for it. It's not that great for in-game content. And then when it becomes useful is the super health packs. Health packs provide an extra 20% health and grant a 50% defensive increase for 10 seconds. This is great, it works for yourself. The team member one is this one over here. Health pack efficiency increases by 20%. Health packs now also affect allies close to Batgirl. So if you have a co-op member, or if you have full place in Heroic Assault and you got Batgirl there, everybody groups up and gets the heal from Batgirl. And now we move on to the Knighthood aspect, her glide mechanic. She's able to glide like Batman around Gotham City. Obviously you have to go for that, it's part of the Knighthood. And the next ability is Grab a Pull. She's able to pull enemies towards her and pretty much interrupt them and go for a combo of some sort. Fear Takedown. This ambush takedown inflicts fear in nearby enemies, critical damage and critical chance increased by 50% for 10 seconds. So if you can engage ambush takedown initially in a fight, you're pretty much going to get extra benefits throughout the whole fight for the next 10 seconds. Alongside your kit, when you have high crit, this works out pretty well. Oh my god. The cleave damage killed them. Health Regen Plus is something I haven't got because I can find health usually everywhere, but essentially you automatically get 40% of your HP back when outside of combat. Then Enhanced Combo, increase the number of attacks in Batgirl's melee and ranged attack combo by 1. This guarantees an actual knockdown at the very end. It's mandatory in all characters. It's hard CC that you can get guaranteed through just an auto combo. Drone Firepower, increase the firing rate of Batgirl's drone. It's alright. Drone Ambush Blast. Once per summon, Batgirl's drone unleashes a large burst of damage on all nearby enemies. Pretty much a knockdown. Works out pretty well. So those are her skills. Let's move on to her abilities. Then she has Batarang Barrage. Batgirl attacks all enemies with a storm of batarangs, piecing partial area effect as well. This is alright. It's pretty much going to be underutilized in your kit. The only time you may use this is against Talons if you get too annoyed by them, but I don't think it's mandatory. Bad ability. Then her beatdown ability, Batgirl performs a series of quick strikes on a single enemy to deal massive damage. This is good early game to mid game, at most. After that, it becomes kind of redundant. I don't use this at all, so it's not something I think many people will consider, but since the skills actually increasing this, then it becomes useful. But it's only against certain enemies. Elemental Strike. This ability is really nice. You'll get easy 20k to 25k damage out of this ability, no matter what, on a single target, and placing massive elemental effect against a target. This also scales as a heavy melee attack, so that's something to keep in mind, and it's a guard break. But you want the guard to already be broken so you can follow up with actual damage. Because if it hits them initially with the guard break, it just breaks the guard, there's no damage applied to them. Then the next hit after, it will apply that high amount of damage, being up to 25k. And it also places your elements on them. So whatever weapon element you have, it will place that effect on them. This is a good ability. Adrenal Surge. Increase Batgirl's damage, critical chance, critical damage, and defensive by 20%, and an elemental effect build up by 50% for 12 seconds. Fear Inducing. This I love. This is so good. This is like an S tier perk, or S tier memento ability in any character's kit. This works really nicely, buffs her like crazy, gives her so much damage aspects alongside the kit we've created for her through our gear and the skills that we have. It works out beautifully. A must-use ability. And now we have more Rotarangs. This is kind of interesting. Batgirl throws 2 Batarangs that spin around her, or area actually, striking multiple times and preventing some enemies from attacking. Damage over time. This works against the League of Shadow more than anything. Is it that useful? Not really. I think it's going to be very underutilized. They use this ability, it's just bad. Because the next abilities are way better than this. Then we have the Jackhammer ability. Batgirl hits the ground twice, creating a circular wave of damage that knocks back and staggers nearby enemies. And the best part about this, it's obviously a 2 momentum bar, but the amount of damage you get out of this is ridiculous. With guard break and area effect, you're not just affecting one target, you can reach up to 45,000 damage on multiple targets in the same area. So each target will be taking 45,000 damage with my build currently. It's absolutely insane. I highly suggest utilizing this and make sure you use it as much as possible when you need to, especially for just damage output. So guard break someone with a heavy attack and then go into this aspect to guarantee a one-shot combo. Then we have Bat Swarm. Batgirl unleashes a swarm of bats, dealing damage to nearby enemies and protecting her from most damage. Duration 15 seconds, area effect, damage over time, and fear inducing. And you can see how she gets more like an invincible state in this case. You have to use this ability. This is mandatory, makes her so useful, and that is why this is better than the other Batarang ability. It just applies dot, and it feels more effective throughout the whole gameplay. So make sure to utilize this. It's very, very good. And her drone. Her drone on her own is kind of irrelevant and useless. But the aspect to heal yourself is very interesting and allies. It does shoot a couple times and actually allows for some bit of interruption or stagger towards enemy types. Duration is 30 seconds and fear-inducing. But the most important part is that it heals you. And having a heal mechanic alongside an invincibility mechanic like this, you start comboing them pretty well. And then once you make more momentum bars, or if you go to low HP and proc all your momentum bars, you can use your one-shot combo or go back into invincibility, use this, get your HP back. There's many mechanics at play, and this character becomes a late game god. I do feel like she's the best character in the game. That's my opinion. We'll make a separate video talking about those topics and highlighting what the best character in the game is, because I feel like Batgirl is pretty high up there. But that is our build with Batgirl. Hope you mates do enjoy these videos, as we pretty much highlight the build series on all the characters in Gotham Knights, and also there'll be a link to other characters in the description below if you want to see the other character builds, because this was a super fun series to highlight on the channel. I will most likely highlight more Gotham Knights content on the channel very, very soon, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure you are subscribed with notifications on to support the channel. But mates, tell me your opinions and thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about Gotham Knights and our Batgirl build? Do you like it? Do you hate it? I'd love to know in the comment section down below. As always, mates, it's a pleasure to have you guys on the channel as we go through this, and I'll catch you, mates, next time. Bye. Road to 200k subscribers. Let's get it, mates.